Canada's immigration numbers exposed, the hidden reality behind Mark Carney's 380,000 plan. Welcome back to Canada Chronicles. Today we're pulling back the curtain on the truth behind Canada's latest immigration levels plan, the one that's making waves across the country and around the world. Ottawa says it's keeping immigration steady with 380,000 permanent residents each year until 2028. But as we'll uncover, the real story is what's happening behind that number. A complete reshaping of who gets in, who's left waiting, and why the so-called open door may be closing for many. We'll break down how the government's strategy quietly shifts power towards skilled workers already in Canada, tightens opportunities for students abroad, and redefines what it means to qualify for permanent residency. You'll see how these changes could affect your plans, whether you're studying, working, or applying from overseas. And stay tuned until the end, because we'll reveal something few people are talking about, a new one-time opportunity that could fast-track 33,000 temporary workers into permanent residency. It's being called the 33K skilled worker shortcut, who qualifies and why most won't. So if you want the real numbers, the hidden motives, and the pathways that still give you a fighting chance, this video is for you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss critical updates that could change your future in Canada. Let's get started. The problem. What the numbers don't tell you. When you hear that Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada is targeting 380,000 new permanent residents each year from 2026 to 2028, it sounds like a stable open-door policy. But what's often overlooked is how the mix of newcomers, international students, temporary workers, and specific applicant categories is changing rapidly. This isn't just about numbers, it's about strategy, and that strategy will have major implications for students, temporary foreign workers, families abroad, and those already living in Canada. Here's what's hidden beneath the headline numbers. The permanent resident target remains steady, but the emphasis has shifted toward economic and skilled immigration instead of broad-based access. Temporary resident arrivals are set at 385,000 in 2026, then reduced to 370,000 in both 2027 and 2028. The federal government aims to reduce the proportion of temporary residents to less than 5% of Canada's total population by the end of 2027. Reports indicate new student intakes could drop to around 155,000 in 2026, nearly half of what they were just a few years ago. A one-time initiative will allow 33,000 skilled temporary workers already in Canada to transition to permanent residency between 2026 and 2027. The headline number may look unchanged, but the type of people being accepted and how they qualify is shifting dramatically. The year-by-year reality. According to the plan, permanent resident admissions will remain at 380,000 annually from 2026 through 2028. Meanwhile, the number of new temporary residents, including both workers and students, will be scaled down to ensure immigration aligns with housing, labor, and infrastructure capacity. The government says this is a move towards stabilization, not expansion. Its focus is on sustainable growth, fewer temporary visas, and a system that rewards those already integrated into the labor market. The plan prioritizes economic immigration and promises to support the labor market, attract the best talent, and fill critical gaps in essential industries. These industries include healthcare, construction, agriculture, manufacturing, hospitality, and technology, all sectors that rely heavily on both temporary foreign workers and permanent residents to meet ongoing labor shortages. So while the total number of newcomers may not change much, the pathways they take and the requirements to qualify are being redesigned. Why Canada is making this shift? The reasoning behind this policy overhaul is straightforward. The federal government and analysts agree that housing shortages, rising rents, and pressure on public services have made it impossible to keep growing the temporary resident population at past rates. Canada's infrastructure, healthcare system, and housing supply are struggling to keep pace. The new plan aims to bring immigration back in line with the country's economic and social capacity. At the same time, the country's aging population and ongoing labor shortages are forcing the government to refocus immigration on workers who can contribute immediately, particularly in high-demand sectors and smaller communities that need skilled labor. The balance between temporary and permanent residents is also being reset. By reducing temporary entrance while keeping permanent resident admissions stable, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada is signaling a long-term shift toward quality over quantity. In simple terms, the door to Canada isn't closing, it's narrowing and becoming more selective. The hidden reality for students and temporary workers. If you're an international student or a foreign worker hoping to make Canada your new home, these changes could reshape your entire path to permanent residency. Student admissions are expected to drop sharply to about 155,000 next year, with only small adjustments afterward. That means fewer people will gain access to post-graduation work permits and ultimately permanent residency. At the same time, the government is prioritizing skilled temporary workers already in Canada. The upcoming 33,000 worker transition program targets those who are currently contributing to the economy, not those waiting overseas. The focus will be on occupations tied to national labor shortages, especially in healthcare, trades, technology, logistics, and rural regions. Those working in big cities or non-critical sectors may find fewer opportunities to transition. This approach rewards individuals who are already established in the labor market while tightening the criteria for those still abroad. For students and new applicants, it means the competition for every available spot is about to intensify. Impact on families and overseas applicants. The effects of this policy extend beyond students and workers. Families and applicants outside Canada are also being impacted. The government is allocating a larger portion of the annual 380,000 permanent resident target to economic immigration, which includes skilled workers and professionals selected for their ability to fill labor shortages. This naturally means smaller shares for family reunification and humanitarian programs. For families trying to sponsor loved ones, this could translate into longer processing times or stricter quotas. And for applicants applying from outside Canada, especially in occupations not considered high priority, the path to permanent residency may become more limited. Simply put, the immigration system is being rebalanced to favor those who are already part of Canada's workforce or can fill critical gaps quickly. Those abroad will need to explore alternative strategies, such as provincial nominee programs or specialized regional streams. The door remains open, but it's changing shape. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. The 33K Skilled Worker Shortcut. Who qualifies and why most won't? Let's take a closer look at one of the most talked about features of this plan, the 33,000 Skilled Worker Shortcut. This is a one-time initiative that will allow 33,000 skilled temporary workers already living and working in Canada to become permanent residents between 2026 and 2027. It sounds like a golden opportunity, but the details reveal that only a small fraction of people will actually qualify. These slots are intended for individuals already in Canada on valid work permits, specifically those employed in sectors facing severe labor shortages such as healthcare, construction, technology, and the skilled trades. Priority may also be given to those working in rural or remote areas where communities are struggling to find workers. Because it's a one-time 2-year initiative, anyone who doesn't meet the criteria or misses the timeline could lose their chance entirely. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada has not yet published full eligibility details, but applicants are advised to prepare early. If you're targeting this pathway, here's how to stay ahead. Keep your work permit valid and maintain steady employment in a skilled occupation. Keep thorough records of your work experience, pay, and employer support. Focus on sectors where the government has identified major labor gaps. Watch for official announcements and act quickly once applications open. This initiative marks a major policy shift. Canada is prioritizing those who are already contributing to its economy and communities instead of relying on large inflows of newcomers abroad. It's a move toward rewarding presence, stability, and proven contribution. The solution: how to position yourself now. Given these changes, here's how to stay competitive in the new immigration landscape. 1. Reassess your pathway. Choose a program that aligns with Canada's labor priorities and economic needs. 2. Target smaller regions. Rural provinces and francophone communities are offering more opportunities than crowded metropolitan centers. 3. Build Canadian credentials. Those with local education or work experience have a clear advantage under the new strategy. 4. Diversify your options. Combine programs such as express entry, provincial nominee programs, or the one-time worker transition for the best results. 5. Strengthen your language and documentation. Clear proof of employment, language proficiency, and credential recognition will make your application stronger. 6. Stay alert. Policy updates are coming fast, and those who act early will have an advantage. 7. Plan financially and strategically. The process is becoming more competitive, and well-prepared applicants will stand out. Canada's immigration model is moving from mass entry to strategic selection. Those who adapt early and align their skills with Canada's priorities will find success. And that wraps up our deep dive into Canada's 2026 to 2028 immigration plan. What looks stable on paper is, in reality, a massive reshuffling of priorities behind the scenes. The numbers might stay the same, but the pathways and requirements are changing fast. The window of opportunity isn't closing, it's shifting. Those who act early, refine their qualifications, and aim for in-demand sectors will have the best chance to succeed. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss important updates and insider analyses on Canada's evolving immigration policies. Thanks for watching Canada Chronicles. See you in the next video.